Guys, welcome. Upload going up tomorrow. This shirt sucks, does it? Does it suck? I don't give a shit. All right, guys, this is the time that I got I got harassed by police for 2 weeks, and it finally came to where they arrested me. So, grab some popcorn, grab a drink. We're gonna spill the tea. I got my proof. I got my mugshot. We got this, all right? All right, so here we go. You guys. So this story is kind of sensitive to me, but because it was illegal and they have since dismissed it, which I will show you in a minute. So most of you know I got a divorce. And I know that the people are probably watching right now are Chelsea. So I don't give a shit. But anyways, I got divorced, and it was because he cheated and was doing drugs. Well, when I say drug smoking. So, and that to me is cheating. Anyways, the point being, so let's fast forward. Let's rewind to where this all started. So when I was married, you guys saw the updates of where I was. I was going through a hard time and we got separated, okay? And I was going through a treatment for PTSD, which is post-traumatic stress disorder. I got really upset with my husband a couple times, actually, and my ex-husband, and I assaulted him because you guys are my family. I'm just going to be honest. When you go through PTSD, you go through flashbacks, you go through a lot of stress in your brain. And during that time, I had found out that someone had sexually assaulted me. Well, I didn't find out, but because I've been dealing with it, but I finally have been confronting it. And my ex-husband wanted me to stay around that rapist. And I was raped from ages 3 to 15. Keep in mind that. And so I did not want anything to do with this person anymore, as the memories came up more and more. But my husband wanted to. He wanted the rapist to keep being in my kids' lives and mine. And I know you guys have your opinion, but I didn't feel that was appropriate to have a rapist, okay, near my family. So all of this stress, and keep in mind, it's no excuse. But all the stress combined, and on top of my ex-husband smoking and just being a liar and a cheat, it just was, he constantly looked at porn as well. It was just angering to me. And I eventually attacked him. I attacked him out of anger and stress, and I fully regret it now, to be honest. And I had my issues too. It is not Ben's fault. And I know you guys love to see Ben. And I know you guys loved my husband. And I do too. I still do to this day. It is him who wants this done. The divorce. Anyways. But it isn't because of the assault. It isn't because of that. We just had a lot of things that we didn't agree on. And the main majority of it is he wanted to be around my father and other people, and we just had a problem with that. So, anyways, we're gonna fast forward now to the present. So, I got put in jail for that overnight, as you guys know, and I got out. And when I got out, they put a protective order down, which was understandable. That's why I went to go to PTSD treatment. It wasn't in treatment, it was out treatment, but my ex-husband didn't want it, and neither did I. And it was hard because I could see my children, but I couldn't see my husband. And my husband and I were trying to work through things. We agreed to go to marriage counseling. We were trying to do everything, but the courts didn't want us to be together. So they put a protective order down. Understandable, because I assaulted him that one time. Anyways, it sucks because, anyways, I'm messing up right here, okay? So we're gonna get to the story. So if you now are back at the present, months later after that, the police kept following me, and they kept harassing me to the point where I got 5 tickets in a week for things that I did not, like, what the hell? And one of them was when finally the protective order was lifted, and I have a recording when I went to court saying that the protective order was done. My ex-husband was told the protective order was off by not only police, but I have a recording from the prosecutor himself saying that the protective order was lifted. So we lived together again. We were talking, we were interacting, we were, making things happen and just being a family and, or trying our best. And all of a sudden I got a call and they asked me to come down to the station, and I did, and they arrested me on the point. And I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, what the hell? Why are you arresting me? You have no right to arrest me. I've done nothing wrong. And they said it was in violation of a protective order. And I was like, no, it's not that. Because, and I showed them the paperwork, and not the paperwork, the recording. I personally, and then I bailed myself out. It was a $2,000 bail to get out. Okay, I did that. And I went the next day to go get the recording from the court office and everything else. And, it sucked. It sucked so bad. But, and there was no protective order that they could see, but the police had it on their screen saying that there was a protective order. And I'm like, no, you need to talk to the prosecutor. Sorry. And it just, I decided to tell this just so you know, everyone or person who's watching, this is a sensitive story. So I'm kind of hard to tell it, but I want to get this out there because there's been a lot of people asking who have seen my mugshot. And yes, it is real. I'll show you my mugshot right now. It is real. It's my mugshot, and I'm embarrassed about it because I didn't do anything wrong. I went up and I took the consequence for the first time. I said, yeah, I hit my husband because of this. I slapped him. I was not a nice person to him because I was so sick of all this, and that's no excuse. It's no excuse. And I feel horrible for it. And I've since then apologized, and my husband has forgiven me. We've had a lot of back and forth. We've really had a lot of back and forth. It wasn't just me during that time. I just got in trouble for that one thing. So anyways, back to the point. So I got this thing in the mail eventually because I went to talk to the prosecutor and I threatened to sue him. I was like, you can't do this. This is not appropriate. You told me it was lifted. You told me all this. So technically I'm going to sue you for neglect. If you didn't remove the protective order, or I'm going to come after you, the state and the city, to make sure that this is taken care of, because I can't have this on my record. It's not appropriate. You've already told me that it was off. Anyway, so I got this thing in the mail right now. And I'm going to read it. It says, Bountiful City Plaintiff Kelly Croft Miller, Defendant. Plaintiff moves the court to dismiss the charges filed in the case without prejudice in the interest of justice. And then the second one says, upon the motion of the plaintiff and good cause appearing, therefore it is hereby ordered that the case be dismissed. Okay, and I said to him, where's my bail money? If you illegally arrested me, where's my bail money? That was almost $3,000 that I bailed out with. And it was infuriating to me that the city was not taking it seriously, for one. And second, I got illegally arrested for something that was not even there, and that the prosecutor told us was lifted. And so, and not only that, but my husband and I were back and forth. We were saying, what's going on? What's going on? And even my husband called the prosecutor, or I think he talked to someone and said, oh no, he did talk to him, and said straight out, you told us this was lifted. We were under the impression that this was lifted. We don't want this. We didn't want it in the first place. The city is the one that charged me, not my husband. At the time, my husband didn't want any of this. He knew I was under stress. He knew I was under PTSD, and I was going through a panic attack when I assaulted him. And it wasn't just a panic attack. It was a flashback mixed with a panic attack. And if any of you know what it's like to go through flashbacks, it sucks. But anyways, and all the time during this time as well, I was dealing with my neighbor and her shittiness, and it just was all not good. And the sucky thing is that I still very much adore my neighbor. I really do. It was sprung on us. It was, we were talking, and the next thing you know, I say that they put a protective order on me. And, or what was it? A no contact order. And I'm like, what the hell? It makes no sense. Anyways, the city was going after us so much for things, especially it was me that they were going after me with. And I eventually showed them proof of my neighbor, and I found out that there was other people who called about them, and that's done. They dismissed that because, well, at least the prosecutor told me that it was, even though I'm going to be moving and stuff, there's no point, just don't communicate, it's fine. And so I was like, okay, and that sucks. But they kept following me after even this was sent to me. They kept following me, they kept calling me, they kept trying to just find things to get me in trouble. And I wasn't even driving. They took my car. They took my fucking car as well, my minivan. And even though I hated the minivan, they just kept following me and trying to find things, and they impounded. I still have not gotten my car back. It just sucks a lot. And they were not understanding it all. They weren't trying to see that I'm trying to get my life together. That was caused by panic and anxiety. It wasn't that I purposely went out and hit my husband. We were in a fight about someone in my life that raped me. And I was so infuriated that he wanted my kids around that. There's just so much involved. And the city doesn't really care about anything. And the fact that I was pushed on the ground, I could get the videotape of the police recording. You would be disgusted of how they treated me. It was so horrible. And I told them, I showed the completion of my treatment. I went to a treatment center for learning how to deal with stress. They sent me a thing saying, I did wonderfully. I did what I needed to do, but yet they're still after me with things. I'm just trying to move on. Eventually, I moved out of the city because I couldn't deal with Bountiful anymore. I couldn't. And so I'm in a whole new city right now. I'm in a house, and I'm trying to get my life back together, and it's really hard when people, or the police at least, keep following me and trying to find things to get me for, and it just sucks altogether. So, it got dismissed. I'm still waiting to hear my bail money. Getting that back because it was illegally arrested. It was neglect all in all. So, I needed to get that out. I needed to vent that. I'm going to be doing another story time right after this, actually. That's going to be uploaded because this one's a depressing one, and I don't believe in depressing stories. But so many of you have asked about it. I've received close to 1,270 messages, or 72. 1,200. Okay, 72 messages, DMs, asking me about this. What happened? And this is the truth. And it's really hard being as a public figure and trying to express something like this, because it was a flaw in my time, in my life, that I regret so much. Because not only were my kids were outside when I attacked my husband, slapped him. So even though they were outside, they saw nothing. It was slapped on me that I got domestic violence in the presence of a child. It just sucks. And if any of you know me, you know I am the most loving, caring, attentive mother you will ever meet. Like, I have had so many people in my defense go and talk to the prosecutor saying, this is not Kelly. Even the judge told me, and I can show you the recording. Actually, I don't want, because it has other people's names in it. Saying, the judge knew me. He knows me. And he knows my family, and he knows that this is not me. That's why he was so lenient in letting me go to a treatment facility to get help, and it was covered. It was free to go get some stress help and helping me learning how to deal with everything at once. And because I was never taught that as a child. And so when I am under stress and when I'm under attack from not only my neighbors, but my own conscience, it just hurts me sometimes. Anyways, this is the story about that. And I hope that you guys don't judge me and kind of understand that I'm human. But yeah, it was dismissed. So if you want to take a good look at it, this is proof that it was illegal what they did. And I'm still going to be suing the police department. And I'm also, as bad as it sounds, but I am going to be probably suing the neighbors because so many things went on. My husband doesn't want me to, my ex doesn't want me to. And I'm trying to start a new fresh start, but it's hard still because I'm hurt, because I was only trying to protect a child. And the sad thing is I love my neighbors still to this day, my ex neighbors. So I'm probably not going to do it, but I'm hurt. Anyways, yeah, I'm sorry about all this and kind of being depressing at the moment, but the next story time is actually going to be pretty funny. So, I hope that this helps you guys understand a little bit more of what happened the last few months and what I was going through. There was nothing but court dates, stress, anger, divorce, trying to put my life back together because of all the depression. And don't even get me started on divorce. If any of you know divorce, you know the feelings of abandonment and hurt and pain from all that you found out that they did, and how you weren't ever good enough. I was married to Ben for 11 years. Or with him for 11 years. He was my absolute best friend. Yeah. And you know what? It's the best that we do. He filed divorce on papers right after I had already filed. And the reason why I filed was for different reasons that he filed. And my files didn't go through. My divorce didn't go through my papers. There was things wrong with it. And so Ben filed, and if any of you receive those papers, you know how heartening it is, how painful it is to open up that and look that 11 years of your life is gone. It was wasted. Anyways, I'm sorry. I'm not trying to bug you guys. And I know it's a long live video. And for those wondering about the video as well, I'm going to clear that up here as well. The video was uploaded, for those who follow, to my Instagram and Facebook, of my dad. He was in my yard screaming, and he broke into my house. And if any of you know this, my dad bought the house for Ben and I, and we bought it from him. And my dad and I do not get along because of things that are happening at the moment, and I hate that man for what he's done. But he, in the state of Utah, he kicked us out. You can do that. Even his name was still on it, even though we had been paying and we paid. He kicked me out, not my husband, not my kids, just me out of the house. And we were married still at the time. And he came over to the house. He broke down my door. Like, there was an eviction notice for me on the door. And I was like, how can you do this? We had been paying, like, we paid for this house. Like, what the hell? So in the state of Utah, you need to work on that. That's fucked up. It's just wrong. Even though you pay to live there and stuff, you have the nerve to make a law saying that even though the person bought the house name still on it, he has authority over everything. That house was my love. It was my home. It was my safe place. I had a month to get out, and it was the first. I had to get out on the 4th of October, and it was the 1st of October. All right. He came in. I wasn't home. My security alarm went off, and I quickly came home, and I saw my dad with my dogs. They were out in the street. They were running everywhere, and my door was broken down. And I screamed at him. I'm like, what the hell is your problem? Like, you can't be here by law, because I sent him a cease and desist letter saying you are not allowed to be near my children or me or anything of that matter. You cannot do that. And yet he still came. He still communicates. So I was going to press legal action against him. And the fact that he broke down my door, I'm going to show you a video recording of it. It's pretty bad of him saying horrible things, and you hear me screaming saying, you can't be here, you can't just break down my door. And he said, it's not my house anymore. That gives him still no right. I still paid to be there until the 4th. Okay, and so luckily I had rights. And the police, I called and showed them the recording and everything. They did nothing. It's funny that I can slap Ben across the face, my husband, and get arrested for that. But then my father comes into my home, my dogs run away, he breaks down the door, but they won't file and put him in jail for it. That angers me. That angers me so bad. Like, it is still my property. He took so much in my house. He made my dogs run away. He broke down the door, and he can't get arrested for breaking and entering. The police said because his name is on the lease, it's his house. My name is on it too, and I slapped my husband and broke a glass, and I got arrested. Can you see the problem here? The police didn't arrest him because, the officer that came was friends with him, and was really good friends, actually. So that was angry, and I'm looking at the video right now so I can show you guys. It probably won't be good quality, but it's what I can do to show you guys just what kind of man he is.
And Ben said, okay, that you could just go into my house and let my dogs out. You can't just come into my house. If Ben really said to come inside the house, I'm going to call him and he'll get involved with the law too. You can't just break into my house and let my dogs out. Ben did not say that. I have him right here. I don't care. I paid rent. I have rights.
Anyways.
I had the vacate sign till the 4th.
That's when they're going to haul you out if you're not out by that time.
You cannot go in my house. I paid rent.
The 30th. No, the 30th is when you were finished.
Well, I have the paperwork. Yeah, the paperwork does say that. Don't go in my house.
So there's that. And I went to my husband right after that. And even he said, I did not say that. I did not tell him to go in that time. I did not tell him. He told him that he could come in when I was gone. And I found out that he'd been breaking in my house when I was on a trip to get treatment done. And it sucked. It sucked that he'd been in my house going through things, trying to do stuff and mess around. You guys can have your opinion and whatever, but that's wrong altogether. You can't break down other people's doors. I have the pictures of that too, if you want to see those too. It kind of upsets me that this is happening so much and that my dad is doing this to me. We were still living in the house. Everyone's stuff was still in there. He just wanted me out because I had started talking about what happened to me as a child, and he did not like that. His reasoning for kicking me out of the house was he didn't like how I was treating them, because I was starting to talk to people about the rape and everything that had happened to me as a child. So, that's not fair in my eyes. I was trying to get help, and I was trying to, I think it's okay for me to talk about something that happened to me as a child and a teenager if I'm struggling with it, something that severe. And finally, I reported it to the police. That day, I reported not only he broke into my house, he broke down my door, but I also filed a rape allegations. So, and they did nothing about it. So I even gave details, I gave times, I gave days, I gave the journal entries of when I was a child. I gave all that to the detective and the police. They did nothing, and they're not pressing charges. So, anyways, I'm sorry this has been such a mess, but good news is now, at this very moment, I'm doing okay, and things are starting to be in the past, and I'm okay with that. This chunk of time that I just told you about was this in my life. And now I have like all of this. I get to start fresh, and I'm trying to. And it's just hard when people shit on you so much, and it's just hard. So I hope that you guys understand, and I hope you guys don't judge me for what went on. And I love you guys, all of you. I think I'm done with this. Did I cover everything? I think I covered everything. Anyways, talk to you guys later. I think, yeah, I got it all.